Should know. I gotta listen to the opening and then I get the drink.
打ちつかれたこの鼓動は無力で儚いもの痛みは空よりもうららかに 風も熱も夢も明日も空気中にさまよった理想怒り視線切な渦を巻くような暗く深い場所じりじり音を立ててからめとられ数えきれぬほどの瞳
Bro, Mr. Poke made a tweet that he's making an ASMR channel. What the fuck? Alright, look at that. Hey, best of luck to you, Mr. Poke. Crazy. ASMR channel. Damn. Bro, he loves that ASMR, huh? I really don't get what what people get from ASMR. I always thought the whole ASMR thing was like placebo or pseudoscience. The people that say it actually helps them. Like, it's not actually scientific, right? It's therapeutic, but is it actually, like, is it scientifically proven to be therapeutic, or is it like, yes? Okay. Oh no, because ASMR pisses me off. It's annoying as shit to me. Sometimes I sometimes use rain ASMR to relax my mind. Really? I don't know, man. ASMR just ticks me off. Especially the mainstream ASMR with the fucking like sexual coomer shit. That shit really pisses me off. And I'm a gooner, bro. Right? I'm a gooner and that shit pisses me off. Alright. That's just Twitch? No, it's not. That's YouTube too, Carlos. That's YouTube too. The ASMR trend blew up in YouTube first before it came to Twitch. You know that, right? Like, it was huge on YouTube for a long time before it started becoming a big thing on Twitch. So, zombie outbreak ASMR is good? What? Okay. I hate that so much, bro. I just want to throw my phone when I hear it. Quality Gooner ASMR is good. No, it's not, bro. It sounds awful. Alright, let's go. I'm gonna skip that first tip because it sounds fucking lame. Like, I don't really care about Satoko's trap course. Alright, let's go. Wait, shit, I forgot to piss and get a drink. Oh my god, be on my goat.
というわけで、いよいよお昼の時間が来たね。
Mion gleefully announced the beginning of lunch.
いよいよお昼の時間でしたよ。この中の一人が罰ゲームになるんですわよね。
What the fuck? That was the weakest how I've ever heard from Rena.
今日の罰ゲームはちょっと怖いからね。レナ、悪いけど思いっきり真剣に作ってきたよ。
In Rena's case, I don't think she'd lose even if she wasn't taking it seriously.
ねえ、僕たちもそれぞれに頑張りましたのですよ。今日はさとこもリカちゃんもそれぞれに別々に作ってきた。いつもは2人一緒のお弁当だけど、今日は一緒だと勝負にならないからね。そこは大丈夫ですのよ。リカも私もちゃんとそれぞれに用意させていただきましたのよ。わあ、さとこちゃんもリカちゃんも頑張ったんだね。楽しみ楽しみ。ちょっと意外だったのはケイちゃんがちゃんとお弁当を用意できた点かな。
He cheated!
ケイちゃんもさすがやればできるみたいじゃない。
I scratched my head and gave her a dry smile. My bento today had been made entirely by Satoko last night. It had none of my personality, so there wasn't anything there that could praise me for.
ケイチ君のお弁当はどんなだろう。楽しみ。
そんな大したものじゃないから期待す。夕べのご飯のお惣菜の残りが詰めてあるだけだし。
お夕食の残り物は
お弁当の基本なのですよ。ゆうべの圭一さんのお夕食も分かって一石二鳥ですわね。
Was it really better to hide the fact that Satoko came over and made dinner last night? Well, of course it was. If I revealed that I didn't make my own bento, I'd be sure to end up playing the punishment game. Today's punishment game was to stand right in front of the curry maniac Chia-sensei and say bad things about curry. It wasn't too different from telling someone to jump out of a 100-story window. It was exactly the same as telling someone to die.
でもみーちゃん、今日のお弁当勝負ってどうやって勝敗をつけるのかな。圭一くんもちゃんと作ってこれたんだから、今日はこれで引き分けで決着なんじゃないのかな。
We asked the teacher to judge it.
それもそうですわね。昨日の罰ゲームは圭一さんに自炊を促すための葉っぱみたいなものですし、圭一もちゃんと作ってこれましたから引き分けなのですよ。
Just learn Japanese, buddy. My simple bento with last night's leftovers could never have stood up to everyone else's bento they made to win. I fully understood Satoko and Rika-chan's concerns for me as they tried to end the showdown peacefully. However, the club president Mio and Sonozaki would not be convinced by something like that.
何を甘っちょろいこと言ってるんだか。白黒つけない灰色勝負なんて絶対ごめん。ぶつかったら決着つけなきゃ。手打ちして引き分けなんてヤクザの世界だけなんだからね。
Oh, you would know, wouldn't you, Mion?
言うと思ったぜ。勝負好きのミオンがこのまま終わらせるわけないよな。
This was bad. At this rate, I was sure to be the sole loser. But well, I didn't make this bento after all. Maybe I need to resign myself to my inevitable loss.
ではみー、どうやって勝敗を決めますですか。
相互採点じゃ公平な採点にならないからね。ここは公開審査と行こうじゃない。みんな全員集合。
Mion commanded everyone who had just started eating using her club president voice.
おじさんたち5人のお弁当を採点してもらうよ。
Alright, Keiichi, this is where you pay people off.
ベスト3までを紙に書いて投票すること。いいかな。
Everyone in class was used to being dragged into Mion's club activities. Yeah, came the energetic voice from here and there. Everyone already knew that the showdown this time involved an utterly fatal punishment game. And they were all very interested in what would happen to whoever lost. Of course, they wanted the thrill of seeing something terrifying.
ではみんないいかな。
Oh shit.
まずは私から行くよ。それ。
In exaggerated fashion, Mion pulled a lid off her multi-tiered ornate bento box. No picture? Multiple cheers of joy erupted at the brilliant sight.
すごいですわね。おせち料理みたいでしたよ。
嘘だ。嘘に決まってる。こんなのどこかの仕出し弁当の中身を移し替えただけに違いない。こんな純日本風な料理をミオンが園崎ミオンが作れるわけなんだ。
Bro's about to invoke the wrath of the demon again. Motherfucker, relax.
みーちゃん、このくらいは本気になれば作れるよ。めったに本気にならないけど。
おじさんを誰だと思ってるわけ。時間と材料があるなら満館全席だって再現してみせるよ。
Reminds me of a certain laugh. An entire classroom gulped audibly. And everyone wrote down a score on the notepaper in their hands simultaneously. Whoa. How are they writing down a score without even seeing the other ones yet, motherfuckers? It made sense, just a visual impact would give her a perfect score.
じゃあ次はレナのお弁当行ってみようか。レナもかなり料理は得意だからね。
レナのお弁当はいつも食卓の花なのですよ。みんなありがとね。じゃあレナのお弁当も公開するね。
Rena's bento was a beautiful mix of the two colors of eggs and minced meat, and it too was a bento staple. Aw, shit. The Saburo bento. She had been thorough with the side dishes as well, and they were abundant in number. She had spent more time than usual on it, but it was unassuming and truly nonchalant. One couldn't ignore the household warmth in it that Mion's bento lacked.
さすがですわね。これは高得点が期待できましたよ。
さすが。厳しめに見ても減点の余地は全くないね。相変わらず見事。
Once again, every one of the judges wrote a score on their note paper at the same time. There seemed to be some who were revising their opinions when they compared it to Mion's score too. The whole classroom seemed split between Mion and Rena, and on everyone's faces it was clear that they all wanted to be tasting them rather than scoring them.
では続いて僕たちなのです。では公開するでございますわよ。
Come to think of it, Satoko and Rika-chan ate with me last night at my house. It was impressive that they still made a bento. Both their bentos were clearly lacking compared to Mion's artfulness and Rena's perfection. However, because of that, you could sense from them how hard they had worked. The toppings were a little on the rough side, but you could still feel that they tried their hardest. It made you feel a little biased so that you'd give them more points. Few people struck by just that once again. Bro, where's the punctuation? Once again revised their opinions and wrote in scores on their note paper.
サトコもリカちゃんもよく今日のお弁当を用意できたもんだな。レナやミオンの出来には確かに劣るかもしれないけど、それを考えるとかなりすごいことだぜ。
Satoko and Rika-chan glanced at each other and grinned happily.
実は内緒でございますのよ。くにょくにょくにょくにょ。
Eh? What? The fuck? What's she keep muttering about? When Satoko told me, I broke off from the others and secretly looked for my classmates' bento boxes. There, Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun's bento boxes. Took a quick peek inside and half of the contents were missing. Not bad. In the end, Satoko and Rika-chan hadn't made bento today. A bold move. They got Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun to share their bentos with them.
おい、富田君、岡村君、何を条件に買収された？
いきなり何ですか、前原。私たちがいつ何を買収されたって言うんですか。
そうっすよ。別にサトコたちに水やり当番を代わってもらうくらいで弁当を半分なんか。
Curse you, Satoko. What an impudent trick. Satoko grinned, showing her fangs like canines, and laughed in triumph.
あら、これはケイチさんに学ばせてもらった技ですのよ。なのです。
Yeah, how naive, buying them out with watering duty only. They're men. If you're going to buy them out, you need to use something a lot spicier than that. For example, like giving them 3 tickets to walk Satoko and Rika-chan around like dogs all day with them on all fours wearing tails and with leashes around their necks. Whoa, that might be enough to get me to do anything. As I was lost in my wild fantasies, Mio clapped me on the shoulder and called me back to reality. Damn, it was just getting good.
さて、次はいよいよケイちゃんのお弁当だね。ケイちゃんの昨日の予告だとかなりのものが期待されるけど、実際はどうなのかな。
ケイチくんってやるときにはやる人だからね。レナ、今日はとっても楽しみにしてたんだよ。
Erg, they're all looking forward to it. But it's really just leftovers from dinner last night. I didn't even make it either. How was I supposed to stand up to Mion and Rena and the others?
もうやけだ。見て驚くなよ。
I bet you it wasn't just leftovers. I bet Satoko went above and beyond and made it like a special dish for him. I tore the lid off my bento box. There weren't very many cheers. Well, I guess there wouldn't be. Oh, never mind.
ケイチくんも精一杯頑張ったんだね。
It's Pog Pog. It's just leftover trash food.
レナはその頑張りわかるよ。
レナ、 無理に褒めなくていいぞ。
どんな具合ですの？圭一さんにしては頑張ってる方ですの？
まあその頑張りは認めてあげたいけどね。勝負は非常だしね。
Why does Mio keep laughing like this, bro? Mion's cold, mean laugh. It was like it spoke for everyone's opinions just like that.
圭一くん、初挑戦なのにこんなに上手に作れたんだよ。みんなもっともっと評価してあげてもいいと思うんだけどな。
Damn, Rena the goat.
でも勝負は非常なのです。
さーてケイちゃん、採点結果を集計する前に何か申し開きがあるなら聞いておくけど。
What?
申し開きってなんだよ。
Because you're dying.
ケイちゃんがここで何かを訴えることでわずかな得点加算が望めるかもしれないってこと。何しろ今日の勝負はうまくすればなんとか罰ゲームから逃れることができるかもよ。
それって兄、圭一さんのお弁当がビリって言ってるのと同じことでしてよ。
別におじさん、誰の弁当がビリなんて言ったつもりはないんだけどな。
Mion cackled repulsively. In contrast, Satoko's smile was growing somehow awkward. Oh right, this bento was filled with last night's side dishes. That means it was basically a bento that Satoko made. And Mion outright said it would come in last place.
みーちゃん、ちょっと意地悪だよ。
Uh-oh.
圭一くんがかわいそう。
レーナ、ケイちゃんも今日の弁当勝負は負けられないってあらかじめ知ってたんだよ。それを承知で昨日あれだけの大見栄を切ったんだからさ、甘やかす必要なんて全然ないと思うけどな。
True. Kill him.
ねえさとこ。
お、
ええ、そうですわね。それでこのざまなんですから笑っちゃいましたよ。ちょっとさとこちゃん、笑うなんていけないんだよ。だってちゃんちゃらおかしくて笑ってしまうようなお弁
She's
当で
just
したよ。
shit-talking her own creation.
こんなお惣菜屋さんで買ってきたようなおかず、本当に幻滅もいいところでしたよ。
She's gonna cry.
ほら、これなんか缶詰を開けただけだよね。こっちのキュウリは包丁が通ってなくて綺麗に切れてないし。
I feel like Mion knows it was Satoko, and because Mion doesn't like Satoko, she's doing this on purpose to fucking shit on it. I don't know, bro.
ケイちゃん、包丁とか全然扱ったことないでしょ。経験不足が明らかなんだよね。
経験不足もいいところでございましたよ。
彩りもかなり単調。こればかりはセンスのなさに呆れるね。
そりゃ弁当箱に食い物を詰めるなんて初めての経験だし、多少見栄えが悪いのは仕方が。
ケイちゃん、ケイちゃん、弁当箱への詰め方以前のレベルなの。富田、岡村、解説。
What? Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun were chosen from our many underclassmen. Tomita-kun quickly adjusted his glasses and took a step forward.
前原さんのお弁当に致命的な欠点、それは彩りなんです。ご存知の通り、あらゆる色彩の根底には三原色と呼ばれる配色が存在します。つまりバランスよく配色を求めるなら白、黒を除いても3色は必要なのです。しかるに前原さんのお弁当は白黒を除いた場合
暗緑色しか残らないんですよ。
Dark green. No one will want to eat it if you describe it like that. I had forgotten. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun have been bought out by Rika-chan and Satoko, so they were trying their hardest to let them win and make me lose, weren't they? God, what strong wills they have. It was charming if only because they were working so hard despite having been bought out.
おかずも心のこもらないお惣菜や缶詰ばかり。
つまり前原さんのお弁当にはお弁当の三大要素、愛、心、味のうち2つも欠けていると断言できるのです。
Classroom, convinced by the elucidation of the mystery, they were thoroughly baffled with Ray's mysterious groans of admiration.
愛もなければ心もない。決まったね、前原圭一。
ちょっと冷たいけど、でもこれを機に圭一くんもお料理の楽しさに気づいてくれればいいのかなそんなことより罰ゲームが僕以外なら何でもいいのですよ。
Rena was giving a dry smile as well.
決まりましたわね、圭一さん。罰ゲームは圭一さんで決まりですのよ。
She laughed in such a vile manner, but she didn't look like she meant it. I knew that Satoko was speaking ill of a bento that she practically made herself in front of the whole classroom, and I could tell how painful that laughter was. Okamura-kun said before that this bento lacked spirit, but among all the bentos laid out here today, there wasn't a single one with as much spirit as this one. This meal that she made for me yesterday in such a good mood, though it looked like she wasn't a bad one. I won't let it end with this slander.
さて、ビリの圭一さん、そろそろおとなしく負けを認めなさいませ。
ちょっと待ってもらおうか。
Oh god, he's gonna pull some shit out of his fucking ass again. When I began to speak in a low voice, the expression of all members of the club changed. Mion clicked her tongue. This man was baring his fangs at the last moment again.
俺の弁当の敗因は心がないから。そういう解説だったな。間違いないな、岡村君。
Okamura-kun, who had suddenly been placed in the spotlight, looked flustered for a moment, but immediately he stammered in reply that I was right.
心の定義は何だ？黒か。
What the fuck? This is image.
努力か？汗か涙か？その結晶か？ならば
That is
俺の
literally
手に残る
objection.
このやけどは何の評価になるんだ？
Look at Rika's face.
圭一くん、それ油が跳ねたやけど？
Great. The burn marks from when I... Oh, hey, stop barking. I almost caused a fire yesterday. It looked just like I was having a ton of trouble cooking. I could clearly tell that the classroom was forced to acknowledge the effort I put into it.
お自らの料理の下手さによる失敗をさも努力の痕跡であるかのように見せるとは、やはりこの男油断ならない。
そうだ、俺は下手だ。昨日大見えを切ったのが情けなくなるくらいに料理は下手だ。だが逃げなかった。戦った。そしてこの成果を出した。それは心じゃないのか？どうなんだ？
レナは認めてあげたいな。挑戦する心が評価されなかったら誰も前に進めない。
The girls in the class started to nod in agreement. Okay, the tables are turning. Isn't this just gonna make Rika or Satoko do the punishment instead? But Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun, bought out by the objects of their unrequited affection, weren't about to lose either. They shifted to the counterattack, clearly exceeding the price they were paid.
なるほど、前原さんの気持ちはわかります。ですがね、心だけで料理が決まるんだったらこの世にコックはいらないんですよ。
Damn.
そうっすよ。
Damn.
心を込めて頑張りましたって言ってコックが消し炭みたいなハンバーグを持ってきたらそれにお金を払います？払わないですよね。
He's
つま
right.
りそういうことなんです。
That's right, that's how it goes. The male students took Tomita and Okamura's side. Gah, they did have a
でも
point.
心尽くしなんだぞ。たとえ真っ黒のハンバーグが出てきたにせよ、それを作ってくれた母の苦労を知るなら俺は食う。完食してみせる。
Clap, 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 clap. This time the female students in the class took my side. Good. Now we're even.
そもそもお弁当というのは
My God, I
愛
can't
情を
believe
食事の形と
Tomita
して
and
昇華させ
Okamura
た
are
もので
alt-right. These fucking alt...
それは
These
相手に
alt-right
伝わって
bento
初め
fans
て意味があるんです。
can never trust these motherfuckers.
前原さんのお弁当からはそれが伝わりますか？いいえ、僕には伝わりません。
Yeah, I bet you, if I told you Rika and Satoko made this, then you would completely be saying something else, you stupid motherfuckers.
ひどい。
Ooh, uh-oh, you're getting booed by the girls. Ooh, now even Okamura-san was panicking? Uh-oh.
あー静粛に静粛に傍観人は発言を慎むように。
裁判長、俺はここでこの弁当にどれだけの心が込められているかについて料理学の権威竜宮レナ氏の証言をも
Oh shit, he's trying to use Rena.
レナはこのお弁当には心がこもってると思うな。確かに稚拙なところは多いかもしれないけど、でもお料理は上辺だけじゃないと思うの。
True! The girls in the class again gave cries of support as they all applauded. In response, all the men in the class began to boo. Those fucking pigs. They're all incel.
裁判長、前原さんと竜宮さんの意見は極めて感情的で一般常識としてかけ離れています。
Oh, I didn't realize food was objective. I thought it was subjective.
採用するには不適切です。
静粛に静粛に検察側の反証を認めます。どうぞ。
例えば本件をお弁当ではなく誕生日のプレゼントだとお聞か例えば誕生日の日に私富田が手編みのセーターをもらったとする。そして彼岡村は図書券を1万円分もらったとする。
I take the 10,000 yen, bro. It felt strangely real. Was it actually just an example?
常識的に考えてどちらに心がこもっているかは明白です。つまり手編みのセーター、これはお弁当に言い換えれば手作りのおかずが相当する。そして単なる金券に過ぎない図書券はお金で買うもの、すなわち無味簡素な缶詰に相当する。
Shut the fuck up, Tomita. You take the 10,000 yen any day. Murmur, 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 murmur. The boys and girls all began to argue amongst themselves about presents. They were all talking about what they received as presents in the past. Damn, Tomita-kun, he changed the subject to something that could easily grab everyone's attention. Not bad. I'll lose the initiative at this rate.
異議あり。本件はお弁当の心について問うものです。誕生日のプレゼントという特殊な状況とは全く異なります。
却下します。検察側続けなさい。
What the fuck is judge's shit? Damn.
さて、ここで大事なのは送り手の心と受け手の心は全く違うという点です。皆さんの目の前に実際に手作りのちょっと左右の丈の崩れてるセーターと1万円分の図書券が置かれていて、どっちがいいと聞かれたらどっ
10,000 yen.
ちを取ります？
So I'll probably never wear the fucking sweater.
図書券でしょ。1万円ですよ。1万円。
Wait, Okamura, I think, is going against Tomita's or Tomita's point.
コミックスが何冊買えるか計算できますか？十数巻程度の単行本なら即座にフルコンプ
I
可
wasn't
能です。
Tomitake.
愉快で面白おかしい漫画が何十冊。これによって癒される心の至福とセーターでは比べ物にならないのです。
True. The boys unanimously praise that with applause. Materialistic brats? Ugh. But all guys that age are like that. Even I would choose to gift certificate over the sweater in that case. Hey, wait, weren't you guys the ones who said it was about love, spirit, and taste right at the start? Since when did the taste trump all? That's the stance they were taking now. Yeah, they
以上
switched
よ
up.
り送り手の心と受け手の心には何の因果関係もないことが立証されたと思います。つまり前原さんがどれだけ苦労してお弁当を作ろうとも、それは私たち受け手が採点に手心を加えるものにはなり得ないのです。
それは詭弁だぞ富田君。心は確かにある。それが伝わるかどうかは受け手の問題だ。
そうよそうよ。
味が全てだ。
女の敵。
なんだと。
Now the courtroom is in chaos. But I can't allow myself to lose. And not only to avoid the punishment game, but also to protect Satoko's honor.
さて、弁護側は今のに何か反論はある？
Slowly and strongly I nod and step up to the dice. Tomita-kun, Okamura-kun, do you two really think you can beat me with mere words?
今検察側は送り手の心とは無関係に評価が行われると言いました。それに間違いはありませんね。
At some point I began speaking formally.
そうです。前原さんがどんなに苦労して作ったお弁当でもその苦労は評価の対象にはなり得ない。
では検察側に尋ねます。私前原が今日の自分の弁当としてこのお弁当とコンビニ弁当を並べたらその評価はどちらも同じものなのですか？
Prosecution hesitated to speak. Got you.
そう、手作りの弁当とコンビニ弁当では全く比較にならないのです。どんなにひどい手作り弁当であってもただ買ってきただけのコンビニ弁当とでは比べ物にならないほどの心が込められている。そしてそれは評価されている。つまり手作りによる心はちゃんと受け手に伝わってるのです。それを認めよう。
Boom! With those impactful words drawn in the air behind me, I pointed my finger. The girls led by Rena broke into applause. Some of the boys were admitting it too.
認めます。
認めましたね。認めましたね。では次にコンビニ弁当にはなぜ心がないかについて移りましょう。そもそも弁当で伝える心とは何なのか。
意義あり。前原さんは抽象表現で法廷を煙に巻こうとしています。
却下します。面白そうだから最後まで聞くように。
Thank you, Judge. Got them. Now I'll show you two the difference between
裁判長、
us.
ここでフルで理科士を証人として喚問したいと思います。
みー。
You know, Rika-chan, that must have seemed like a bolt from the blue. There's no doubt that she never dreamed the point of my spear would be aiming at her. Rika-chan, you said it before. For this showdown, it doesn't
フル
matter.
で理科さん、あなたの今日のお弁当は実によくできていますね。美味しそうです。
みえ。
Yes, Satoko and Rika-chan's bentos have been made of half of Tomita-kun's and Okamura-kun's. The prosecutor's face turned pale, but they were too late.
レナ、岡村君の弁当箱を持ってきてくれないか。
Oh my god, he's snitching on them! Wait, weren't you trying to save Satoko? But you're... Oh my...
いいよ。
Oh my god, he's gonna make Rika take the punishment game.
裁判長、本件に僕のお弁当は何の関係もありません。
却下します。
Oh shit.
裁判長、この岡村君の弁当箱を証拠品として提出します。見よ、この中身を。
ん半分しか入っていないね。
半分かどうかじゃないでしょう。もっとよく見てください。ほら。 全く同じ内容だ。裁判長、見ての通りです。フルでリカシのお弁当は岡村君の盗品。
I can't believe he's throwing Rika under the bus.
そんなものに心がこもってるわけがない。
いやこれは単なる偶然で。
もう明白でしょう。心とは送り手と受け手のキャッチボールならば、弁当箱はボールに当たるのです。そして本来このお弁当は彼、岡村君の母親から息子に託されたものだから、この弁当箱に詰まった心は彼、岡村君にしか受けられない。それを割り込んで奪ったら、もうそれに心はないのです。
Dun dun dun. Yay, that did it.
あれ、そうなの？リカちゃん、そうなの？
Oh, I can't believe he snitched on Rika.
みぱ
なるほどね。
Mion the judge folded her arms and began to hum. I couldn't even take a guess as to what Mion was laughing about. Frankly, I didn't know whether I would win or lose.
よし、判決の前に主文からにしようかね。
The entire classroom quieted.
まず、被告前原圭一の弁当が客観的評価として非常に出来の悪いものであるのは間違いない。
Oh shit. Mion's got serious face on.
それはこうしてみんなの採点の集計結果が物語ってるからね。
か。
でも、ケイちゃんの言う通り、料理は味だけじゃない。心もまた隠し味として認められるべきだよね。でもそれは得点評価で言えば小数点以下。本当に微細なもので、その出来具合の評価を改めるには至らない。
Grr.
さて、ここでそもそもの今日の弁当勝負の原点を探りたい。そもそも今日の勝負は何が大前提なのか。そう。被告前原圭一が自炊できるか否かが問題になり、その成果を測るために催されたものだった。
そうだよ。圭一くんはちゃんと作ってきたよ。
Urk. That stung my conscience a bit. Before the showdown, it didn't matter.
ならば、この勝負の大前提は自炊。すなわち手作りであるか否かだよね。でもリカちゃんはそれを怠ったとなると、それは出来以前の問題。
Is Rika gonna out Satoko?
すなわち失格ってことになるのかな。
みぱ
Rika-chan let out a nipa, looking as though she had prepared herself for this outcome.
悪く思うなよ、リカちゃん。部活は非常なのだ。
さすが圭一なのです。
Rika will remember this, Keiichi.
最後の最後まで頑張りましたですよ。
Rika-chan demanded I lower my head, then she pet it.
というわけで、これにて一件落着。今日のビリはフルでリカ。
Okay, at least Rika didn't out Satoko, you know? That miraculous turnaround. And last place went to Rika-chan, the one everyone had least expected. The whole classroom went wild.
よくもこんなひどいお弁当でビリを免れましたのね。
Satoko looked at me hatefully but spoke in a vague kind of voice.
ビリになんかなるわけないだろ。この弁当のどこにビリになる要素があるってんだ。
だってこんな出来の悪いお惣菜や缶詰ばかりでセンスもなくて、それから
Grab. Satoko was speaking more and more poorly of herself as time went on, so I roughly grabbed her head and began to
言っ
stroke
た
it.
ろ、心が大事だって。この弁当は上辺だけじゃない。いろんな味に溢れてるんだぜ。
Okay, Keiichi, you know, not that much of a jackass this time. He's actually, you know, he's kind of locked in.
でも心だけじゃありませんのよ。お味なんて全然変で。
どこが変なんだ。俺はうまい。うまかった。だから詰めてきた。本当に夕べの飯がまずかったら詰めてなんか来ないぞ。食パンと牛乳パックを持って同行してくる。
でも
Oh, just shut up already. I caressed her head, swinging it from side to side. At some point, Rena had come up behind us. She was giggling to herself. That was the face of someone who had known everything from the
いつ
beginning.
頃から俺が作ったんじゃないって気づいてた。
圭一くんがやけどを見せてくれた時かな。だって圭一くんのお弁当に油で炒めるおかずなんか入ってないし。
Oh.
レナさんは何か誤解してるではございませんの？私は別に何も。あれ？このお弁当、さとこちゃんが作ったんじゃないんだ。じゃあやっぱり圭一くんの手作りなのかな？うん。じゃあ圭一くんの手作りなんだね。
How's Rena so smart, chat? Every fucking time she figures everything out. Has Tori eaten yet? Oh shit! It's 13 minutes past Tori's eating time. Alright, give me a second. What was my order? It was 13 minutes, okay? 13 minutes. He's fine.
きゅうりとかを切るときは包丁をほらこんな感じで引くの。彩りなんかはね、お野菜を上手に加えるといろいろ表現ができるんだよ。
I bet I could make a pretty good bento. This lecture was clearly not meant for me.
でも前に見せてもらった時よりもずっと上達してたよ。
Halt, chat. You don't know. You
ちゃ
don't
んと
know
お勉
me.
強してるんだね。きっとこの調子ならもっともっと上手にお料理が作れるようになるよ。
She continued saying words clearly meant for Satoko while facing me instead. Satoko's wearing an ambiguous look and couldn't even nod her head at
とにか
all.
く誰が何と言おうと俺は今日の弁当を気に入ってるんだ。今日ばかりは誰にも分けないからな。俺が一人で全部食う。
あ、ケチなんだ。レナも食べてみたいな。
As we were going back and forth, Satoko rubbed her eyes as though she was drowsy, then announced to Mion and everyone else.
私も実は富田さんにお弁当を分けてもらいましたの。
Oh, okay, Satoko, you know? Wow, what a nice girl. She didn't let her friend Mika go down by herself.
北条、なんで言っちゃうんだよ。
If she'd kept it a secret, then at least she would have been saved. Tomita-kun looked at her with an expression filled with regret and surprise.
そうだったの？ほんと？ありゃ。
Mion spun her finger around, then pointed to the hallway, sentencing Satoko to the punishment game as well. Satoko left the classroom behind her, completely prepared as though she was going with Rika-chan on an errand.
理科だけに行かせられませんわ。地獄の底までお付き合いしましてよ。そんなとこまでついてこなくていいのですよ。まったく圭一さんも嫌味ですわね。理科だけを晒し者にするなんて本当に意地悪な人でございますこと。
I didn't mean... I couldn't just return Satoko's kindness with malice.
ね、本当にさとこはおバカさんなのですよ。
Rika-chan spoke so that only I could hear, grinning happily.
ではそろそ そ行きましてよリカ。罰ゲームも部活メンバーの務めでございますわ。
Satoko seemed awfully happy, not frustrated in the slightest, like she always was when she lost. Damn, Rika-chan's right after all. Everyone here is a moron.
ミオ、俺も白状するぞ。今日の弁当は俺が作ったんじゃない。
Oh my god.
俺も同じだ。だから行ってくるぞ。罰ゲーム。
ケイちゃんまで？
どうなってんの？
頑張ってね。罰ゲーム。救急箱を用意して待ってるからね。
What the fuck?
あらかじめ救急車の手配を頼む。場合によっては霊柩車だな。
Alright, leaving a bewildered Mion and a happily smiling Rena behind in the classroom, I went into the hallway.
何やってるんですの？せっかく買ってたのに。わざわざ罰ゲームに名乗りを上げるなんて物好きにも程があるでございましたよ。
そうだな。物好きにも程があるぜ。
まったく今日の罰ゲームを甘く見すぎですのよ。私たちならともかく圭一さんじゃ大変なことになってしまうかもしれませんわね。肋骨の1本や2本の覚悟終わりでしょうね。
One or two ribs broken.
肋骨は痛そうだな。俺痛いのはダメなんだ。
圭一さんはおとなしく私の相槌を打っているんですのよ。私と理科でうまくやりますから。まったく罰ゲームの面倒まで私が見なくちゃダメなんて。まったく
I already knew that her pouty behavior was a sign that she was actually in a really good mood, so it made me want to smile.
なあ、俺さ、野菜炒めが食いたいんだけど、さとこ作れるか？
まあ頑張ればできないことはありませんわよ。
Oh god, Tori's got after dinner zoomies. Running in circles on
上
my
手
bed.
に作れますですよ。さとこの野菜炒めは大好きなのです。
Stop it! I'm not playing with you. She was uneasy at first, but once she got assurance from Rika-chan, she turned back and looked at me with once more confident eyes.
じゃあ決まりだな。
It's settled
今
then?
日学校が終わったらいろいろ買い物に行こうぜ。俺じゃあ何を買えばいいのか全然わかんないし。
それもそうですわね。圭一さんじゃスーパーでお買い物なんてまだまだ早いでしょうし、私が見てなければ不安ですからね。そのさとこも僕が見てないと間違えたお買い物をしちゃうんじゃないかと不安なのです。
Why does he do that? He licks the area where his balls were. And Satoko makes me anxious that she'll buy. Okay.
リカ
So phantom balls.
み
The conversation continued as we walked until we arrived before the door to the teacher's lounge.
さて、罰ゲームなんかちゃっちゃと済ませて、今晩の献立の話でもしようぜ。
Rika-chan gleefully grabbed onto my arm. In turn, I pulled Satoko to me, grabbing her shoulder with my
死
other
ぬ
hand.
ときゃみんな一緒だぜ。誰も一人でなんか死なせない。
みんなで一緒です。誰も一人でなんか死なせないのです。不謹慎な話ですわね。私はそんな物騒なのごめんですわよ。
She may have sounded annoyed. Well, Satoko, you did join Rika last chapter. But she was so happy it was gonna make me
よ
blush.
し、この扉一枚向こうは死後の世界だぞ。みんなで戻るぞ。みんなでだ。
みんなでですわよ。では行きますわよ。
Lily, the bed isn't sand. You can't dig into it. We opened the door to the world of death. And like she did every day just as the sun rose in the eastern sky. Chia Sensei was eating curry for lunch. Oh, bro. That's my life right there. It was store bought, but she made a point of eating a different brand every day.
あら、前原君に古出さんに北条さん、どうかしましたか？
She appeared to be in the middle of a moment of supreme bliss, her mouth full of her beloved curry. And we were to pick a fight with her. What a crime this punishment game would be. However, it was what we had to do, for that was the rule of our club. The three of us held each other's shoulders tightly once
じ
more.
ゃあ行くぜ。いいか。
いいかじゃありませんわ。
Yeah, this is the actual rage bait moment.
圭一さんはおとなしくしてるんですのよ。すべて私と理科でやりますから、私に今だけ命をお預け遊ばせ。ファイト、おーですよ。
あなたたち？
We could see the 2 or 3 question marks popping up above the teacher's head. All right, Satoko. This is the only time I'll trust you with my life. Because I'll be shutting my eyes tightly and only thinking about what we'll be having for dinner. I'm leaving it to you. Satoko inhaled deeply, and so...
やーいやーい。カレー独身貴族、ニンニク臭いぞ。
What the fuck? Wait, they said made fun of Curry, not call her single. What the hell? Oh my god. Alright, damn. Oh, Satoko died. It's the craziest line ever. In the end, my selfish request was readily granted. As Satoko muttered complaints under her breath quite merrily, she came with me to the store. Rika-chan didn't come with us. She said she had a thing she wanted to do or something. I believed her when she told me, but when I really thought about it, I started to think maybe she was being considerate towards Satoko in her own way. Without Rika-chan here, Satoko is prouder and more loquacious than ever.
いいですこと？スーパーというものにはタイムサービスというものがあるんですのよ。例えば野菜炒めに欠かせない豚肉ももう少し待つと半額にまで下がるんですの。お肉やお魚は鮮度が下がったら売れませんからね。お店も売れ残さないように土壇場では安くしてくれるってわけなんですのよ。もちろん百戦錬磨の主婦の皆様もそれを熟知していて、こうしたサービスタイムが近づいてくると。
Yep. And I wasn't really listening to her, but she was telling me all this quite proudly. Every time I seemed surprised at something or made an affirmative grunt in place of conversation, Satoko would say, "You don't know anything, do you, Keiichi-san? You can't cook? Just what you think." And smile very happily in spite of her complaints. She led me by a hand to all sorts of stalls, one after the other. She was in such a supreme mood that just being with her cheered me up. Merely being pulled into Satoko's pace was a lot of fun.
おい、どうせならこっちのお得用パックにしようぜ。お、こっちのチーズ入りにもかなり惹かれるものが。
圭一さんは経済観念が欠落しすぎですわ。ご覧なさいませ。予算オーバー。お金が足りないのですわよ。
Satoko pushed a handful of receipts in my face. Piff. Why can't Satoko do these kinds of mental calculations when she's at
そ
school?
う、ノーマルは腹いっぱいたくさん買うか、ワンランク上のチーズ入りをつつましく買うか、これはかなり悩む。
おとなしく量を取りなさいませ。年頃の男の方は質より量を取った方が賢明でしたよ。
What's that supposed to mean, huh?
チェ、サトコは厳しすぎだよ。質も量も両方取りたい、この男心がなぜわからん。
男心でお財布は膨らみませんのよ。まったく、未練がましくガラスに貼り付かないんですの。
After enjoying ourselves in such an exchange, we started to hear energetic voices coming from over by the butcher we visited earlier. I could see a handful of housewives flooding the place. Hey, what you doing?
いけませんわ。早く行かないと半額豚肉がなくなってしまいますわ。
あいてててててて。引っ張るな。襟首を引っ張るな。
Satoko really seemed like she was having fun. She looked like a kid who had grabbed her family's hands while running towards an amusement park attraction. Oh my god, bro. I feel like this chapter's gonna be the most heartbreaking. I knew that it would taste absolutely delicious. Well, we're gonna get real close to Satoko and she's gonna finally feel like she's got an older brother again in Keiichi, and then boom. The air was so clean, it felt so good. Our silhouettes stretching out on the ground made for a really wonderful picture. We had filled our bicycle baskets to the brim with our shopping bags. Yeah, it's just too happy right now, you know? There's too many happy things. A whole lot of fucking evil shit's about to go down. They only contained ingredients and various other foodstuffs. Even so, every last thing packed in them sort of looked really happy and made me feel really happy in turn.
夕食の買い物ってのもおつなものだな。
I think what might happen is like Keiichi starts finding out what happened to the rest of Satoko's family and then starts like maybe hating Satoko, and then Satoko like feels like dejected, right? And actually feels like she has some type of curse, and then boom, she's dead, and then we die. I don't want to know. Going shopping for okay.
晩飯が楽しみになるっていうか、待ち遠しくなるっていうか。
それもまた自炊の楽しみでしたよ。お買い物のうちからもう夕食は始まっているんですもの。
野菜炒め楽しみだ
Nah,
な。
I don't think I could see Satoko actually being a killer in this.
うちのお袋のメニューにはさ、野菜炒めってないんだよ。だから中華屋で外食する時くらいにしか食べられないんで、今日は本当に楽しみなんだよ。
それはお気の毒でございますこと。では今日は特別に美味しいのをご披露して差し上げ
No,
ますよ。
Chad, I literally can't imagine any of the Satoko sprites having like a dead look in her eyes. Normally, right about now was the time I would start messing with her, but I didn't.
ああ、さとこならきっとうまい野菜炒めを作ってくれる。
Bro, look at this is the nicest I've ever seen Satoko. I can't imagine this turning into a little demon that kills us.
すごく楽しみだよ。
She stammered for a second. Satoko had been prepared for me to start making fun of her right then too, and when it didn't come, she was surprised. Or maybe she stammered for some other reason, I don't know. But I immediately knew she wasn't feeling anything bad.
ええ、とびきり美味しいのをごちそうしましたよ。楽しみにして遊ばせ。
As Satoko and I rode back to our bikes, I had a thought. Was I this sort of person? Until now, I would have lashed back at Satoko right away if she did something to me. Yeah, that was the kind of relationship we had. We would poke at each other a little and then kick up a storm while nitpicking at one another. At some point, that had changed. We weren't playing our usual tit for tat. I didn't provoke her, so we didn't fight. That went for Satoko too. Satoko, who I thought I knew, hadn't been like this until now. Our relationship was changing little by little. That's what it felt like. But it wasn't something I had to worry about. It was like our relationship had become a little bit happier, a little bit more charming. I wonder why we changed like this. Was she lonely and projecting her older brother Satoshi, who hadn't returned home, onto me? Rika-chan told me about that yesterday. That was probably exactly it. So as my actions drew closer to Satoshi's, Satoko was returning to how she'd been when she was living happily with her brother. In other words, this Satoko was the real Satoko. Satoko had been able to see her brother. I mean, they did say that, right? Remember last chapter how Rena said even Satoko used to be different? Satoko had been able to see her brother again and had finally gone back to normal. Now that I've been playing the role of her brother, I discovered that she really could smile so sweetly. But I wasn't Satoshi Hojo. I was Keiichi Maebara, a totally different person. I couldn't become her brother. I could come close, but I could never really get there. That was vaguely somehow a little sad. I was wearing Satoshi's mantle, and that would have to come off one day. And that would undoubtedly put an end to this meager, nostalgic, peaceful time with Satoko's. A limited tranquility. A tranquility that would end one day. Putting it in those terms, it really was sad. I shook my head firmly and drove off those pointless thoughts.
どう うしましたのケイチさん。
ごめん、なんでもないよ。
Yeah, Satoshi's the one who left his bat.
なんでもないならそんな変なことしないでくださいませね。
Just remember, both Satoko's parents died and Satoshi disappeared. So, like, Satoko lost everybody. So, like, my original assumption was it was like Satoko's family was being punished in some way, but I have no idea because she's not one of the major families. It doesn't make sense, right? She literally, like, Rika's makes sense that her parents would die because it's like, okay, to fuck with them because they're the Furude family, right? But, like, why the fuck? Satoko's isn't one of the major families.
何か悪いものでも食べたんじゃないかと不安になってしまいますわ。
へいへい、ごめんよ、さとこ。
Nagging like always, but she still seemed really happy. That mood of hers drew me in, putting a smile on my own face. Hey, Keiichi Maibara, why don't we quit thinking about this having to end one day? If it will, then just think about it when that happens. There was one thing, however, that I could say for sure. As long as I smiled like this, Satoko's own smile would never wane. So as long as I stay this way, this tranquility would never end. Satoko's parents were pro-damn, remember? Yeah, but like, why does Satoshi have to die? You know? Like, I don't know, man. Satoshi didn't have to die. Satoshi would come back one day too. That might happen a lot further away than I'd like, but until that day, because like Mion liked him, and if Mion's the one that disappears people or gets rid of people, like why the fuck would she make Satoshi disappear? Right? She liked him. Unless Satoshi did something like Keiichi, where he hurt Mion's feelings by being like, oh, I don't see you in that way, right? And then boom. Till that, and then Mion just chalks it up to it's being Satoko's fault because Satoko's quote unquote cursed. Until that day, what's wrong with me being a replacement for him? Saying that, I'm not her real brother, so I can't become Satoshi. That was just an excuse. If I just didn't run away, Satoko would stay happy and live a fun life of annoyed nitpicking. I don't know what happened to Satoshi, or what made him abandon Satoko and run away. But just seeing Satoko in such a good mood made me think I could persevere as long as I needed to. So this is what I thought. I wouldn't become Satoshi. I would become a replacement brother.
そうそう、俺はこういう野菜炒めを期待してたんだよ。うまい、実にうまい。この塩コショウ味のお汁がいいんだよな。実にご飯が進む。
ほらほらゲイチさん、こぼしてますわよ。そんなに焦って食べなくてもご飯は逃げませんのよ。
いや、逃げるぞ。出来たてほやほやの最高の味はできた瞬間からどんどん逃げていくんだ。サトコが100美味しく作ったものなら、俺はその100を丸々味わう義務がある。それがクーガーのマナーってもんだ。
Yeah, Keiichi's surprisingly not a jackass this chapter. So far he's been actually good.
ですからもっと落ち着いてご飯をお食べなさいませ。
そうだな、悪い悪い。
No insults here. I meekly scratched my head, then put down my chopsticks and laughed along with her like it was funny. I ended up doing most of the eating. Satoko was barely taking a bite. She seemed satisfied by just watching me enjoy the food so much. Whenever I filled my mouth with more of her delicious meal, Satoko looked glad. That led me to enjoy the food even more. In this way, she kept smiling happily the whole time. Looking at her made me really happy as well. The time passed softly and gently. Before I would have gone back and forth hurling insults with Satoko. In other words, we would have gotten into a fight right away. I'd never known I could feel such peace of mind by talking to her honestly like this. I was a little bit happy about having discovered this new side of Satoko. For example, I was eating food that Satoko had made. There wasn't an inch of me that thought it was suspicious. Before, however, Satoko would have definitely put some sort of trap into this.
がっつきすぎた。ちょっとトイレに行ってくるぞ。
ちょっとゲイチさん、お食事の最中におトイレに行くのはマナー違反ですわよ。
Yeah, bro, what the fuck?
じゃあなんて言えばいいんだ？
Say, excuse me, I have to use the restroom.
接近か？川屋か？お便所か？
Satoko looked down, her face bright red, and pointed down the hallway as if to say, just go already. Oops, my old habits seem to have come back. But yeah, this wasn't all that bad either. No weird schemes, everything is just natural. And while having such utterly unregarded thoughts, I went into the bathroom. Tug. My foot caught on something string-like, huh? Oh my god.
Yakan? Tarai? Satoko!
She got me. I can't believe her. She always does this when I let my guard down. I can't relax for a minute around her. Still, it's kind of funny, and I didn't really feel like getting angry. Satoko, laughing uproariously, came over.
ほらねほらね、そろそろ引っかかってくれる頃だと思いましたわ。
まったくこいつちょっと気を許すとこれだもんな。
I picked up the wash tubs that had crashed into my head and went to go hit Satoko with it. But then I doubled over with the laughter that had been welling up within me, so I couldn't manage it. I wish things could go on forever like this. Oh boy. He's wishing for things again. It's not like I was having the most fun since coming to Hinamizawa or anything, but it's probably the first time that I'd spent my day so simply and comfortably. It really wasn't worth much. It was only a few hours after all. As an only child, it was my first taste of having a sibling. Just washing dishes with her felt really nice. Side by side, we washed with the experienced Satoko doing most of the work as I threw in appropriate words to add to the conversation. The scene was so commonplace and yet so mild and warm. Maybe I felt this kind of warmth before too in the past. I think I've stood next to the sink with my mother like this when I was little. It made me feel nostalgic when I remembered it. It was the same sort of slow, easy time. It was tranquil. Such a quiet tranquility that the fact I wasn't uneasy about anything itself almost made me uneasy. Hey, wait, Keiichi Marubara. You feel uneasy about something just from spending time so leisurely? There's nothing at all to feel uneasy about. I mean, why would I be punished for enjoying a gentle life? I'd do anything to keep these days going. I would never do anything bad, no matter what. I'd work hard for it and endure much for it. So God... Oh no. Oh no. It's not much of a dream to want this kind of thing to keep on going, but can't you grant it? No, we can't.
あら、あれは電話の音ではありませんの？こんな夜更けに誰でございましょう？
あ、本当だ。
I hadn't noticed until she mentioned it. I hurried to stand up, then ran to the phone. Who could it be at the time like this? I did feel like the phone had interrupted my happy moment, but I still wanted to brag about how happy the time I was spending made me, no matter who it was on the other
も
side.
しもし。はい、前原です。
もしもしケイチお母さんだけど
あ、なんだ、
Okay.
母さんか。
Alright, we're safe.
何？こんな時間に。
That was a little cold of me when she was only calling because she was worried about her son. I couldn't help but give myself a dry
その様
smile.
子だと特にトラブルもなく生活できてるみたいね。母さんケイチがご飯を作れなくてひもじくて寝込んでるんじゃないかと心配してたわ。
We're gonna be in Tokyo for 3 more weeks. Keiichi, we actually decided that we're permanently gonna stay here. You're gonna have to live there forever alone.
まあね、なんとかおかげで。
ご飯はちゃんと作れてる？今夜は何を食べたの？
へへ、野菜炒めとご飯と味噌汁だよ。スーパーでいろいろとお惣菜を買ったから何気におかずも豊富でさ。そうそう、聞いてよ。豚肉なんかちゃんとタイムサービスを利用して半額で買ったんだぜ。へへ、主婦の知恵っていうのかな。それから。
All of that was thanks to Satoko and not something I should be proud about. But still, I couldn't help but want to boast about the dinner tonight. It seemed like Mom got the hint that I was in a really good mood.
しっかりやれていて母さん本当に安心したわ。そうそう、それでね、お父さんとお母さんの仕事がなんとか終わったの。
Oh no, they're coming back. So he can't spend time with Satoko anymore.
明日の昼か夜には帰れると思うから。
ああ、そうなんだ。
二晩よく頑張ったわね。こっちも二晩ほとんど徹夜でね。大変だったけど、なんとか先生のイベントは穴を開けずに済みそうよ。
うん。よかったね。お疲れ。
Why did my parents coming home seem so disappointing? I knew a little bit of the reason, of course. This tranquility I never wanted to end was about to end so readily, and it was a little painful. After being asked what kind of souvenir I wanted from Tokyo and replying that anything edible would be great, I put down the receiver and Satoko appeared, having finished cleaning up her trap. At first, Satoko was in a very good mood, but when she saw me put down the receiver with an uncertain expression, her own clouded over a bit. It seemed like she'd gotten the gist of what my phone conversation had been
圭
about.
一さんのご両親からですの？
ああ、明日には帰ってくるってさ。
それは良かったですわね。明日のお夕食の面倒はもう見なくていいわけでござい
Adopt
ます
her
のでね。
now.
家族で水入らずの食卓を囲みなさいませ。
そんなことないよ。また明日から無味乾燥な食卓かと思うとなんだか寂しいよ。
Damn.
何を贅沢言ってますの。家族みんなで囲む食卓が一番楽しいに決まってますわ。
Her brother Satoshi running away from home came to mind immediately. There was no gloom in the way she said it.
私も昨日今日と2日間でしたけど、とても楽しいお夕食を取らせていただきましたわ。
No, Satoko! Don't go!
ならさ、今度は俺から聡子の家に遊びに行くよ。
Oh? Satoko momentarily made a happy smile, but then a second later it changed her expression of surprise.
うちは狭くて汚いですわよ。お台所もこんなに立派ではありませんし。
俺は別に気にしないぜ。でも、聡子が嫌なら遠慮してもいいよ。
Satoko shook her head firmly, her whole body expressing
それに
denial.
俺、聡子にはまだまだ色々と教えてもらわないとな。ようやく炊飯器の使い方と味噌汁の作り方を覚えた程度だし。
それもそうですわね。これを機会に圭一さんにお料理をお勉強してもらうのもいいかもしれませんわね。
Oh no. Maybe this is how Mion got pissed off. Because she wanted Satoshi for herself, and then Satoko was just taking more and more of his attention because their parents passed away. And then, yeah, and now it's gonna be the same way, where maybe Mion still likes Keiichi, and now we're getting more and more absorbed into being a brother for Satoko, and then she's like this dumb bitch Satoko, and then kills Satoko, and then punishes us too. It was so like Satoko to take this chance to proclaim that it was all for my sake. But there was no way to conceal her own enthusiasm. So Mion is always the crazy one? I mean, Mion has been verifiably the crazy one in every chapter we played, chat. Remember in chapter 1, the one where Rena was crazy? But it wasn't just Rena. Right, Mion was also talking about where she should have killed Oishi when she gave him the chance to, like, you know, gave him mercy, and then she also was trying to fucking inject us with a syringe, right? And then second chapter, Rena didn't do anything crazy, was on her side, and Mion was still crazy. So I mean, there's a very good chance Mion is still crazy in this one too, where Mion might just be the baseline crazy character every time. It was true that this gentle time would come to an end when my parents got back. There was no need to lament that, though. I can easily put in the effort to continue our mild moments like this. Like yesterday, Satoko told me she didn't need to be escorted home, but Rika-chan wasn't with her tonight. She would be going home by herself. Uh-oh. Everyone knew everyone else's faces here in Hinamazawa, so it wasn't like it was dangerous to go out at night, but it still wasn't good to send a girl on her way all alone. At the very least, that's what I thought as Satoko's older
じゃあ
brother.
学校の近くまで送ってやるよ。あそこまで行けば結構街灯とかあるから大丈夫だろ。
本当に大丈夫なんですのよ。悪い人が現れても指一本で撃退してみせますわ。
There was no point in pressing her anymore on the subject, so I took a handful of Satoko's hair and rubbed her head vigorously.
聡子、ごちゃごちゃ言うな。
Your Nini will bring you part of the way there. That's what I was about to say when I suddenly got embarrassed and my voice trailed off. Nini could only be the nickname Satoko gave to her older brother and nothing else. I was about to use it pretty lightly, so I started to feel apologetic and a little ashamed.
ニーニー。
Oh? What did Satoko just say?
ケイチさんがアニ いに見えただけですわ。今の言い方全然違うけど、どこか雰囲気が似てましたもので。
What the hell? That was the worst oh ever. Satoko laughed awkwardly and turned red in the face. Of course, I was embarrassed when I saw her too, because the fact that I was trying to act like her brother had gotten across. A warm feeling spread out from my chest. It was completely different from romantic feelings or any of those impatient emotions. It was much more graceful, quiet, and warm and calm. Satoko still needed her Nini. I had initially thought Rika-chan was being sly by not coming today, but when I thought about it like this, I could feel a kind thoughtfulness of her worrying about a good friend's feelings. Maybe Rika-chan had understood that she couldn't play the part of a brother herself. So then, no, let's stop there, Keiichi Maebara. There's no point in thinking about it so hard. It means everyone feels the same way. It means everyone wants Satoko to be happy. Do they? Do they though, Keiichi? I don't know. Satoko is acting as though her Nini running away from home didn't bother her at all. Even though that wasn't actually the case. She was very sad and always waiting for him to come home. Because Satoko was a stable person when she was his sister. In order for her to be really be this level-headed, having a brother was something she couldn't do without. In other words, Satoko still needed a brother. Nobody had the right to smile it away as childish immaturity. In fact, they deserved praise for being so close to each other as siblings. That role of brother should be played by her real Nini, by Satoshi, but unfortunately he wasn't here. So since I'm here, I'll play the part. And not with a guilty conscience, but in a very natural way. Because, was there something wrong with seeing Satoko smile so happily?
なんですの、ケイイチさん。さっきからずーっとニヤニヤしてますのね。
俺が嬉しそうな顔をしてるとおかしいかな。
別におかしくはありませんけど、
Sound of the motor on her bike light was too loud and I couldn't hear what Satoko said.
何？なんて言った？
いえ、本当にどこまでもニーニーに似てますのね。
Damn, bro, Satoko's gonna fucking get killed so badly. No, there's too many red flags. It's too happy.
ケイイチさん、
そっか？
もちろん本当のニーニーとは全然違うんですけども。
Yo, I take it back. First chapter, I said Satoko is the most annoying motherfucker in the game, but you know, just come around.
こう、いろいろそういうところが似てますの。本当に不思議ですわね。
Stop being mean. Okay, bro, I didn't know her whole backstory in chapter 1. Come on.
似ているとニーニーを思い出して寂しくなるか？
Once I said that, I thought for a moment that was absolutely the wrong thing to say, but Satoko didn't seem to mind one bit.
別に寂しくなんかありませんわ。こうしてケイイチさんがニーニーの代わりになってくれますしね。
As I was flustered for a moment at her hitting the mark, Satoko suddenly asked me a question in a calm voice. It was very quiet, composed, and an adult question.
リカですの？
It was quiet, but her voice suddenly sounded lonely
リ
somehow.
カがニーニーの代わりになってくれってケイイチさんにお願いしたんじゃありませんの？
そう思うのか？
気を悪くしないでくださいませね。リカって私には変に気を使うんですの。私はそんなに気にしていないのに。
I could say for sure that at least was a lie. Yesterday and today, Satoko had been so happy spending time like this with me as siblings. That was proof itself that she was lying about it not getting to her. So I gave Satoko a light poke in the head.
考えすぎだよ、バカ。俺は俺、前原圭一だ。お前のニーニーの北条聡じゃない。
そんなのは分かってますわ。
Despite her saying that, her expression seemed a little lonesome. At this point, Satoko herself had realized that her question had been the wrong thing to say. We didn't need to keep talking about something that Satoko regretted. So in order to cut the conversation short, I grabbed Satoko's head and pet her.
そんなくだらない話はもういいだろう。もう遅いからとっとと帰って歯を磨いて寝ろ。ついでだから寝る前にうがいもしとけ。風邪の予防になっていいぞ。
それを言ったらニーニーもですわよ。 ちゃんと歯を磨くんですのよ。うがいもしてお手洗いも済ませて明日の教科書を準備して、それから
I wonder what kind of siblings Satoko and Satoshi were. I've never seen them together, but I could say that without a doubt they were really close. As for the way in which they were close, it was probably quite like this. It was so cool that the day's heat seemed like a lie, and yet the moonlight was somehow faintly warm. The quiet chorus of the insects was pleasing to the ears. Damn. Oh, bro, I feel like everything's gonna start going to shit. Oh boy. Trials and tribulations. A clear conscience wins the day. Oh, brother. One more? You promised 2 yesterday, motherfucker. Chat, I need to fix my sleep schedule, okay? We already did a 6-hour stream. It's a normal stream, okay? Tomorrow, we lock in. We do 2 hours, or 2 chapters. Easy peasy, okay? Alright? Don't be a liar again. Listen. Chat, the sooner I fix my sleep schedule, the sooner we can, you know, pump out these Higurashi chapters again, alright? Motherfucker, I see you online in Dino later? You're not going to! My Steam's fucking set to offline anyways, bitch, okay? Alright, well, I just got here. Well, there's a great VOD for you to watch. Anyways, very nice. Tomorrow, we will pick up with 2 chapters, chat. Tomorrow, 100% we are doing 2 chapters. I'm gonna fix my fucking sleep schedule today. 1,000,000%. I'm like almost fixed. I'm almost fixed. I fell asleep until like, so after stream, I fell asleep for like, until like 2 or 3-ish. And then I woke up again and then I fucking stayed up for a long ass time. And then I took another, so like, I'm almost there. I just need to get a little further. All right, but why? Because I just like have this disease called I can't just stay asleep. I just randomly wake up constantly. Yeah, I don't know why it happens. It happens all the time to me. I legitimately don't put alarms and I just wake up all the time. It's annoying as shit. But anyways, no chat tomorrow, guaranteed 2 chapters real. All right. Anyways, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Good night, everybody. Let me see here. I'll send y'all over to I'll send you guys over to Chirimu. Good night, everybody. Bye, good night. Thanks for the stream. No problem. Hey, chat, I also feel like I don't think I got rage baited or stun locked today. Feel like today was a pretty stun lockless stream, you know? You did? How? By what? I didn't get stun locked by anything. All right. Today was pretty good.